Please welcome Saul de Serpent, Esquire, from his offices in East of Eden.
Good evening, Deborah, Lord Yahweh.
So, Mr. de Serpent.
Please, just call me Saul.
Okay, Saul. It appears your clients,
Adam and Eve,
are clearly guilty of violating their agreement with the Lord. Now, what do they expect to gain by engaging an attorney?
we are seeking a favorable verdict in the court of public opinion. We realize that Scripture TV has no choice but to record Lord Yahweh's version of events for future generations. We just want our version out there as a counterbalance.
What on earth are you talking about?
Lord Yahweh has failed to mention several important details.
Such as?
The truth is that his workers were unpaid, unhoused, and unclothed. I mean, literally naked, sleeping on the ground.
No.
Furthermore, they were expected to sustain themselves by foraging for nuts and berries and other raw vegetation that they scavenged from the property, basically eating like raccoons. I would hardly call that a paradise.
Is this true, Lord Yahweh?
I suppose, but they never complained.
Because, Deborah, they didn't know anything else was possible. They've been kept isolated in the garden in a state of complete ignorance. And they are clearly undocumented, possibly trafficked.
Is it true, Lord Yahweh, that you're using illegal immigrants as gardeners?
Certainly not. And what if I am? I can do whatever I want.
This is not a good look.
That's irrelevant. They violated our agreement.
Your so-called agreement has no legal standing. It was made without their informed consent.
I don't need their consent.
You lied to them when you said they would die if they ate the forbidden fruit.
We're all going to die, Saul. Well, not me, but everyone else is.
Oh, okay, we might have to cut that part out too.
You hid from them the knowledge of good and evil, as if it were your own personal intellectual property, when in fact it's in the public domain.
So knowledge of good and evil is actually a thing? Lord Yahweh, you said you made that up.
I made up the thing about the forbidden tree. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is the name of the tree.
So what is it, the knowledge of good and evil?
I'll answer that. It's not simply knowing right from wrong, as one might think. There is no litmus test for every thought and deed to tell you if it's good or evil. And there is no algorithm that will relieve us of the hard work of building moral character and wisdom. We have no list of good things or evil things. Let empathy be your guide. Start where you find yourself and love the ones you're with. Then expand your empathy to all of creation. You have a duty to care, not to consume.
I told you he was a radical left-wing lunatic. I'll make a list for you, and it won't be long or complicated. And the first things on it will be about me. And then we'll make some rules to protect the people that have stuff from the people that don't.
That sounds about right.
Gentlemen, please, my audience wants to hear about the crime. What actually happened?
They ate the fruit and became woke.
Excuse me, Saul, she was asking me. They disobeyed me. My one commandment. They failed my test.
Were there any witnesses? Do we know what actually happened?
De Serpent was there. He instigated the whole thing.
I admit I was there.
As a snake?
Yes, I struck up a conversation with the girl, now known as Eve.
Let's back up for a moment. I have a couple of questions. Both of you have said she wasn't called Eve until this afternoon.
Correct.
That's right.
What was she called before that? Gentlemen?
Nothing.
Nothing?
There was no need. She was Adam's wife.
But how did you address her?
I didn't address her. I never spoke to her.
You never spoke to her?
Not until she ate the forbidden fruit.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. One more thing. Lord Yahweh has referred to her as a woman, and you, Saul, referred to her as a girl. How old is she?
Old enough.
12.
What's going on here?
She's old enough to be a wife.
She's too young to enter into a contract with a powerful lord.
But how old is she?
Well, I just made her a few weeks ago, so technically she's about 1 month old. But I intended her to be of good childbearing age, so I'd say she's about 21.
Fiddlesticks. She's not a day over 15. I'd say she's closer to 13, which, as you know, is about the age that girls are married off around here.
Lord Yahweh is technically correct. She is old enough to be a wife.
Thank you for backing me up on this.
She would be too young to enter into a contract if she were male, but she's not. As a female, she can't enter into a contract at any age, but her husband can, and he did.
This is a sad state of affairs.
Let's get back to our crime story. Saul, you were saying you struck up a conversation with Eve?
Yes.
Did you trick her, Saul?
I don't think so, not really.
Well, what exactly did you say to her?
I asked her if Yahweh had forbidden them from eating from all the trees in the garden.
I told you he was subtle.
Saul, I'm sure you knew that wasn't the case, that there was just one forbidden tree.
All right, I'm no angel, okay?
Then what?
She said they could eat from any tree in the garden except the one, and if they ate from it or even touched it, they would die, which is total bullshit.
Behave yourself, Saul. This is family viewing.
I'm sorry, but this was really upsetting. She didn't know why the tree was forbidden. She knew nothing about good and evil, and she believed what she'd been told, and it was a lie.
You're despicable, De Serpent.
I simply told her the truth, that she would know good and evil like Yahweh, and that she wouldn't die. For the first time in her life, someone had told her the truth.
Truth? She can't handle the truth.
Where was Adam during all this?
He was right there with us, and he said nothing.
What a disappointment he is.
Then she took a bite, slowly. I think she was waiting to die. After a few moments, she began to chew. Her eyes widened, and she became radiant. Tears spilled down her cheeks, and with a cracking voice, she said, "He lied to us."
Disgusting.
I have goosebumps.
He took the fruit from a trembling hand, looked at it closely, and bit into it. The next thing I know, they're in each other's arms, holding tight and crying their hearts out.
Oh boy, cue the violins.